Hello children, in the previous lecture I discussed about third law of motion, and today I am going to discuss about principle of conservation of momentum, and this is the last topic of second chapter, forces and laws of motion. After then I will discuss numerical problems from NCERT book and NCERT exemplar problem books, and then third chapter will be started. So in this class I am going to discuss about principle of conservation of momentum. Before start discussion, you should know the statement. What is the statement of principle of conservation of momentum? You just listen the statement and you can note down it by pausing the lecture. The statement: for an isolated system, net momentum remains conserved. I repeat it. For an isolated system, net momentum remains conserved. This is the statement of principle of conservation of momentum in short. So here net momentum remains conserved. You know about momentum, you know about conservation. What is the meaning of conservation? A new term I used, isolated system. So let us discuss about isolated system. What is the meaning of this isolated system? I think you all are aware about the word isolation, isolate. What is the meaning of isolation? Isolation means, suppose a person is in a room and she is not getting affected by any other activities out of the room, then that person is supposed to be an isolated person. Suppose you are inside the class with your friends, with your teachers. Will you get affected by the activities on the road? No. Whatever will happen on the road, you people will not get affected directly because you are isolated in the classroom. But whatever will happen in the classroom, you will get affected for that. So in an isolated system, the components of the system get affected due to each other. Means they interact with each other, but they do not get affected by external forces. They do not interact with the other bodies outside the system. In simple, isolated system is a system on which no external force acts. Means a system without experiencing any external force is called an isolated system. Got it? So if a system is isolated, then net momentum remains conserved. Means momentum of the system will not change. Okay, this is the explanation of principle of conservation of momentum. Now in syllabus you have to learn principle of conservation of momentum for a two-body system which collide with each other. Means there are two bodies, they collide with each other, and you have to measure their momentum before collision, you have to measure their momentum after collision, and then you have to mathematically show that before collision whatever was the momentum, that remains same after collision. So let us discuss, let us illustrate that with an example. Suppose you have a body, its mass is m1, and you have another body, its mass is m2. m1 is moving with velocity u1 and m2 is moving with velocity u2 along the same path in the same direction. Suppose this is the path along which they are moving. u1 is greater than u2. So what will happen? m1 will strike m2. m1 will collide with m2. Suppose they have collided. They have collided for a while. m1 and m2 collided for a while. So during the collision, m1 will apply a force on m2 given by F21, and M2 will apply a force on M1 that will be given by F12. Suppose the collision is for a very small interval of time, that is delta t, very small time, and after then they get separated and acquire different velocities v1 and v2. Suppose this is M1, it acquires velocity v1 now, and this is M2, it acquires velocity v2 now. Now you can ask v1 and v2. So v1 is equal to u1, or v1 is less than u1, or v1 is equal to u1. Same can be asked for v2. So let us discuss it for v1. You see M1 was moving with velocity u1 and the force was applied by M2 on M1 in the direction opposite to its direction of motion. What does it mean? Force is acting in the direction opposite to the direction of motion, means there is a deceleration, there is a retardation, and you know deceleration or retardation will decrease the velocity. So obviously v1 is less than u1, and F21 is the force applied on M2 by M1 in the direction of the motion of M2. So the force will accelerate M2, hence V2 is obviously greater than U2. Is it clear? And now they are getting separated. Whenever you will be in the higher classes, you will learn they can move together. Okay, you can learn that they will be moving together also, and different other situations will be there, but here you have to learn only about this illustration. So you just check momentum of the system before collision and momentum of the system after collision. You see F12 by third law of motion. By third law of motion, F12 is equal to F21 in magnitude, and their directions are opposite. You may not put arrow sign because you are not taught here to understand about the arrow sign. Actually it is somehow related to vector, which will be discussed in detail in class 11. So you can write them without arrow sign also. So F12 is equal to minus F21. You see F12 is force on first body, and force on a body is equal to rate of change of momentum. So suppose its change in momentum by time is F12. So what is the change in momentum of F12? Change in the momentum caused by F12, that is change in momentum of F1. So change in momentum means final momentum minus initial momentum. So you see final momentum of M1 is M1 V1 and initial momentum is M1 U1. So change in momentum of M1 is M1 V1 minus M1 U1. And this change in momentum has been taking place in time delta t, very small time. So this is equal to minus change in momentum of second body is final momentum of second body M2 V2 minus initial momentum of second body M2 U2 and divided by delta t, because for the same time interval both the forces are acting on two different bodies. Is it clear? Now see, delta t will be cancelled from both the sides and you can write here M1 V1 minus M1 U1 is equal to minus M2 V2 and minus minus plus M2 U2. Now just bring this M2 V2 to left side, it will become M1 V1 plus M2 V2 and this is equal to M2 U2. You just take M1 U1 to right side, it will become M1 U1 plus M2 U2. So this is the formula. Now see, M1 V1 is momentum of M1 means first body after collision, and M2 V2 is momentum of second body after collision, and system is made by these two bodies. So what is the total momentum of the two body system after collision? M1 V1 plus M2 V2. And before collision, total momentum is m1u1 for the first body and m2u2 for the second body. So total momentum of two body system after collision is equal to total momentum of the two body system before collision. What does it mean? It means principle of conservation of momentum is verified with the help of this example, that momentum after collision is equal to momentum before collision, that is net momentum after collision is equal to net momentum before collision. Okay, and this is the principle of conservation of energy. This is the principle of conservation of energy. There are many examples in real life related to principle of conservation of energy. You can learn them from books and you can also ask questions related to that. The simple example is recoiling of a gun. Means whenever a gunman fires bullet, the bullet moves forward and gun moves backward. What does it mean? Before firing the bullet, gun and bullet were together at rest. So the net momentum of bullet gun system before firing is 0, and after collision bullet moves forward with certain velocity, so it has some momentum in forward direction. If the gun will have same momentum in the backward direction, then their sum will again be 0. Means total momentum, net momentum of bullet gun system before collision is equal to net momentum of bullet gun system after collision. This is also called recoiling of a gun after firing. So this is how your second chapter in NCERT book is complete now. In the next lecture I will be with you having some problems from NCERT book and NCERT exemplar problems book. Thank you.